जयपुर वाया कोटा।
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत।
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲು
Chennai Railway Tiruchirappalli Line Dubai Bhattacharjya Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दियो।
Hello and welcome. You are watching Cricbuzz Live. What are we doing here in the middle of the afternoon? It's a question I ask myself. It's not supposed to be here today. They changed the schedule. Nobody called me. Nobody consulted me. But since I'm a man of integrity, I am here doing my job. Right here with all of you. It's not a job, it's love. I love it. Hanging out with my buddies. I got Joy Bhattacharjya and Pommie Mbangwa here. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Nice to see. Hey, I haven't seen this man in a long time. I've seen you.
Yeah.
So, you know, but I'm joyful.
Nice. I like it.
It's great to see you, Joe.
I love
Thank
that.
you. Really is. I mean that. I mean that.
We know
I don't just throw compliments around, you know?
You do actually.
No, I don't.
Yes. Yesterday you looked me in the eye, held my hand tenderly and said, I'm the prettiest person you've ever seen.
But that's the truth.
Where was I yesterday?
How do you remember?
It was a bar after closing hours.
This is
I shall not say much more.
This is the question.
But I will tell you that we know that Pommie wears his heart on his sleeve. Today he's wearing India on his sleeve. You got tricolors on your sleeve. Nice.
I'll say sleeves.
It's nice. Tricolor on his sleeves. All right. Well, I'll tell you something. The Lucknow pitch has been a reign of terror for batters. See where I'm going, right?
I see what you did there.
Yeah. But right now, it's just rain. It's no terror. It's just rain. And rain has delayed the match. And there's apparently rain happening all over North India. I don't know if you've got news from back in our hood, our village. Hailstorms. Hailstorms. Hailstorms.
That was not cricketers arguing, that was hailstorms.
Yeah.
Sounds I heard.
Yeah.
Okay, it was not cricketers arguing with
Yeah, that wasn't ice dropping into my glass. Well, that'd be nice.
But that,
Hashtag hump day.
yeah, but this is a typical Delhi reaction to hail, you know. They said God has given you ice, God has given you water. Now the rest you have to do yourself.
That's right. Can you? Well, let's have a look at the points table and see what God has given who and what people need to do for themselves. Well, the game that's happening is Lucknow and Chennai. Chennai visiting Uttar Pradesh, of course, and playing in Lucknow against their super giants. And this is what the situation is. Chennai was sitting very pretty top of the table, and then the weekend, something bizarre happened. They lost at the Chepauk.
Again.
To a team that was not MI.
Again. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
A couple of times now.
yeah. So what's going on now? Do the people know that this is?
And you're not
Is this not the last season that MS is playing? Because this is not a farewell that Chepauk would give him. I think he's going to play another one.
Oh, that's the whole home advantage story, isn't it? That's
There is
what
none.
Exactly.
It's gone.
Home what? Yeah, exactly. Because, and in those games that they lost at Chepauk, you watch and you kind of expect as they go along that the normal thing's going to happen. Spin's going to do the business in the middle. No trouble. Yeah, I was there for what's his name, Raza at the end, right? Yeah, and Curran and Livingston and Simran played beautifully. No 50s in that game.
Yeah.
In the side that chased it down, they just batted at particularly high strike rates.
And they ran 3 in the end.
Yeah, and they ran 3 to end the game. How's that? You know, right at the last ball, I think I was on commentary actually, and there was this chit-chat between batters, Shah Rukh Khan, Sikandar Raza, and the umpire.
They were trying to sub. or
I
something,
think
right?
so, because when I spoke to him at the end, he said, hey, look, what were you guys discussing? And then he started to say it. And said, yeah, maybe, you know, just someone was kind of waving frantically and maybe they wanted to sub someone for the running. But I don't know, I'll find out now. I said, Raza,
Come on.
You're holding out on me, aren't you?
Yeah.
He said, no, I wouldn't do that. With a straight face, he said it, man.
But Jo jeeta wahi Sikandar. Yes, because they won. But again, when it comes to Jo jeeta wahi Sikandar, that's MS Dhoni, right? MS Dhoni is the real Sikandar because keep winning titles. They're doing really well. Somehow, it's really weird because in the last few days, even though they were firmly sitting on top of the summit, somehow they slipped to number 4 and looking at this game saying, 1 second, if we don't win this game, some people may just jump over us.
Yeah, absolutely. And see, what's going to happen today is there's already one team on 12.
Yeah.
Okay, who had a chance to extend it and it couldn't yesterday against the 10th place team.
Yeah.
Okay? Every time this league is sort of equalizing. Today, one of these two teams have to go on 12.
Yeah.
Right? So one of these two guys will go on 12 unless the whole game gets rained out. In which case it will be interesting because the 11s are very interesting. Odd numbers change the table totally.
Yeah, completely. And then there's Mumbai playing Punjab later today.
If Punjab wins, they go on 12 as well.
Yeah, so they go on 12. But you know what I think is going to happen? I think Mumbai may come to 10 because this year, whatever you're thinking, it's going the other way. Favorites are now winning. Last 4 games, 200 has been chased and 120, 130 has been successfully defended. So I don't know.
And 10 has
I feel like this is a Nolan film.
Yeah, and 10 has beaten 1.
Yeah.
Just yesterday. I mean,
It's just, everything is just, you feel like everything is just upside down. You're turning your phone now, aren't you? Don't do it. All right, yeah. All right, so that's it. It's the 2 games today. The first one, of course, is Lucknow and Chennai. We don't have word on when the toss will be, but as soon as we know, we're going to let you know. I did text our buddy Rohan Gavaskar to ask if he knew because he is there. Let me see if he's replied. I'm getting a call. I shouldn't take that because I'm not Joy.
That was unnecessary. That was totally unnecessary.
What, that's legit. Are we going to start fighting as Delhi boys?
Yeah, Delhi boys.
Come on, stop it. Stop it. All right, let's talk about Lucknow and this whole black soil, red soil business, right? Because here's the thing, it's never, you know, we never distinguish between color. Yeah, that's not in an ideal world, yes. But here, there's some distinguishing has to be done because the red soil is playing just a little better for batters than the black soil. That is just getting stuck. You just can't get away on it, can you, Pommie?
yeah, so which game was it? I'm trying to think which game it was that I did. Punjab game?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Punjab game. Yeah, Raza 57, and they kind of just sneaked over at the end. In fact, what I remember best actually is Shah Rukh Khan walking in and smashing 6.
Yeah.
Love that. Oh, I love that.
He's good.
I love how he does that. Anyhow, speaking to the ground staff on the day, the expectation was that pitch was going to come on really nicely and it'd be a high-scoring game. You kind of had to be thinking 180, 185. But looking at it, it was kind of odd. There was grass there, but grass in some places and not so in others. Compared to the black soil pitch, which was sort of 2 or 3 pitches along, the black soil pitch had kind of nothing on it, no grass, just evenly bare. So they said more spin on the bare one, on the black soil,
Correct.
and a bit more pace, therefore the ability to play more shots on the one that has more grass on it. However, if the grass is not quite even all the way across, then it kind of makes it difficult. And on that day, it did make it difficult. And it was a little kind of too paced for the batters, and they couldn't quite get away. So, yeah, not entirely sure how it plays, and depending on where they'll be playing, not entirely sure how it goes there.
It's almost like it's 6 or 1.5 dozen or the other. The fact is that when you play in Lucknow, it's helpful for the bowlers, but the last couple of games there, I don't exactly think it's helpful for the game because it's just too much ghasita.
Yeah. Most importantly, it's not helpful for the home team.
Yeah.
See, I go back again, this is the KKR template. You know, look at it there. You know, your own batters are struggling because you've created, what was your idea? To create 2 pitches, one pitch which is going to be fast, bouncy, the one in which they scored 193 comes on well, the one in which they beat Delhi by 15.
Yeah, Mark Wood would like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other one to prepare is spinning wicket. But they've created such a wicket that their own batsmen are getting caught in that trap. And that's the big danger because when you make the pitch, you don't decide who's going to bat first or second.
True.
So you've done it. So the problem is if the pitch is overcooked and does nothing at all for batsmen, your batsmen will struggle as well. Yeah. All their batsmen have better records away than at home.
Yeah, true.
And gone are the times where you could sort of say, well, we look at that team and we think that's a team that kind of does well with their spin, so we play on this one. And we look at that team, they go okay with their seam, so we'll play on that one. All the teams have it covered. So
And the thing is, we were discussing this about home advantage. The home advantage is also gone maybe because, the teams have changed. They've not played in these stadiums. All the players have played in stadiums all over the world. They're well versed with conditions. So maybe world cricket has just reached a place, Joy, where you have a bunch of really gun international professionals, including Indians, and they just say, it doesn't matter what you give us, because we've got a good mix.
I think it's a combination of that and another thing, the fact that for 2-3 years, nobody's played at home.
Yeah.
So you've had people on the road continuously playing. So the whole concept of making that home that dirty word fortress, it's a word we hadn't used in 3 years. Because
correct. I'm so happy.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't happen anymore.
You hate it?
I hate that word, fortress, momentum. There's a few words I'm taking away from the cricket lexicon.
Yeah, go on then. Come on, name a few more. I'm very
Fortress,
interested.
momentum, process.
Yeah.
Process. Oh, how about execution?
Execute our plans. I want that entire phrase banned for eternity. If a player says it, take off 100% of his matches. We executed our plans.
My goodness,
Gone, sorry.
100%.
Yes.
You're both barrels
No,
today.
look, I'm going into further. Like, these captains, they're not going to be scared of fines.
Right.
Now you've got one player less. I'm saying, better still, put somebody in jail for 7
The gloves are off.
Did I say both barrels? I think he's got other ammunition.
I've got the answer firing the
He's
bazooka.
come with a tank. He's poking his head out of the tank and he's got a bazooka. Oh man, that's pretty good. Well, the gloves are off.
Yeah.
And the covers are off as well.
Oh, good news.
The covers are off.
Have we got a time yet of when we expect a toss?
Yes, 9:30 p.m. I'm kidding. 3:22. I'm kidding again.
You don't have a clue.
But he's done what every good Indian does, offer opinions first.
With conviction.
Absolutely.
The toss
You
will
should be
happen.
on social media. Gaurav.
Toss will happen at 3:34 and the game will start at 3:41 p.m. None of that information is true, but as soon as I have it, I will definitely let you know. Well, let's talk about.
Excuse you.
I'll try again. We'll try again. Take 2. Let's talk about Chennai because, hey, you love that, yes, don't you? We're talking about Chennai and we're talking about their opening batters because this is their one template that has always worked for them. Their openers just always do well, right? And this year has been no different as well. You've got Devon Conway in the last game, did really well. He's got a couple of those big scores. But Rituraj Gaikwad is very interesting as well, Pommie, because he's just been chipping away. He's like a little woodpecker. He's getting his 30-40, he's getting the start, ready for launch for Rahane, Dubey, for all these guys to come.
As a partnership, Conway and Gaikwad have been absolutely fantastic. And you wouldn't peg them for guys to be, particularly prolific in terms of rate of scoring.
Yeah.
But without feeling like you're hurt, it's like Mayweather style, jab, 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 all the way through. And before you know, oh, they got us, or killing me softly kind of guys, surgically tearing you apart. And with beautiful cricket shots, with well-calculated scoops and angles of the bat with regard to Conway, all timing when it comes to Gaikwad. And they've put runs on the board. They've got a start for Chennai just about every time. And when they do, generally, they go okay. They put runs on the board in terms of what follows as far as their middle and lower order.
So in this kind of slam-bang, glamorous world of T20 cricket where it's all larger than life, there's this little very unassuming guy called Devon Conway, right? You think, oh man, would I put him in? Almost nobody would pick him in their all-time 11, but look at him. He got so quick, third fastest to get to 5,000 runs. We're talking about strike rate, we're talking about efficacy, consistency. This guy is right up there.
Stunning record. Sean Marsh did very well in the first season of the IPL, and then he's done really well back home in Australia in the Big Bash. But KL Rahul, we know, is a god. I'm not even talking about universe boss, but Devon Conway in that company above Babar Azam, who's a recognized great, it just tells you one thing. And I just want to go back to one thing that we were discussing yesterday, that the best players, what they're doing is, the part 1 is saying, okay, we need to learn T20 skills. Yeah. But then part 2 is saying, okay, I can learn T20 skills, but my greatest skill is what I do really well, which is what I do, I have normal cricket shot, which I play as a normal test opener. Shami showed us that yesterday.
Correct.
That I do everything. I've learned the slower ball now. But hey, what I really need to do is, if I'm effective with this ball, I don't need those back of the hand and slow balls that much. And I think Conway has done that beautifully. He does ramp, he does everything, but he also plays a lot of excellent orthodox cricket strokes. And I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, I love that. In an era where everyone's trying to just be too cute, right, with kind of their variations and everything, there is still space for almost, old schoolers or do the proper things correct again and again, like Conway and Shami.
Yeah, you'd probably say traditional, right?
Traditional, I like that.
Unless you want that out of the lexicon as well.
I like traditional. I'm sanskari. That's a new word I'll teach you.
Okay.
Sanskari.
Sanskari, okay.
There you go. Swagat hai.
Yeah. So the way that he plays, you'd feel as traditional. I think that his greatest asset and why he's particularly successful is because he is able to read the situation really well and then apply what is necessary. So never doing too much and trying always not to do too little.
Yeah.
So you're always doing what the team requires. If they need a fast start up at the front because the wicket's really good, that assessment's done early, and then you do what is necessary in order to have the fast start. Get over the top to get boundaries. If you can't quite do it, get through the gap to get boundaries. If you need to lap because someone's up and that's kind of the only way you're going to get about it, then you lap because so he got all the shots and he just chooses correctly if and when to play them.
I like it. I like Devon. I like Rituraj Gaikwad as well. Just remember, this is a guy who will also be throwing his hat in the ring for the India job pretty soon. Trust me.
And they look at him, honestly, I mean, they look at him in the BCCI, in cricket circles, as a future India captain. Because he's extremely calm. He and Shubman are regarded as captaincy material. I mean, obviously, it's a long day and there's some great players before them, but they're captaincy material. And the interesting thing is that Rituraj also has got 9 innings, and it's very interesting. Last year or the year before, Rituraj went 0-0-0 century, 0-0 century. So when he was getting them, he was getting big ones. This year, interestingly, 9 innings, only 2 he's gone below 10. Otherwise, he's always got 10 and above, and mostly 25, 35, 45. What is not happening this year, and which is interesting, is he's not making that 35 into 80s and 90s like he normally does.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to do a study, and we can, because we'll have lots of time, right?
No, I got news for you.
Oh, you got news for us. We got no more time.
This time, it is the truth. No, it is. It really is. 3:30 is when the toss is happening, Indian Standard Time. That's in about 11 to 12 minutes from now. And then the game starts at 3:45.
All right.
That's right. So it's turning around pretty quick.
Okay, that's cool.
When the toss happens, we, of course, will just keep quiet and listen to it.
Okay.
Can you imagine if that's the show?
Keep quiet who?
Hey, what's going on here?
Keep quiet who?
That is true. It's tough for me. But it has become a genre now. Watch along.
Yeah, true.
It's a genre.
Yeah, there you go.
We do it right here. You've been on it.
I've been on
Match Party.
I've been on Match Party.
That's right, Match Party. Yes, sorry, you were telling me something about the Match Party of Rituraj Gaikwad.
No,
Party. He's not been turning them into big parties.
I was saying it'd be interesting if we did a sort of study or just kind of check out what his strike rates have been and come out of power play, what happens last year when he was scoring those big runs. I really do think that there's been a focus with the batters on batting that much quickly, on being that bit more aggressive. And so there isn't the preserving of your wicket per se after you've got yourself a start. If you get a start, I think the idea is to then try and keep going as hard as you can so that you kind of take the advantage and you make sure you're way ahead of the game and you're ahead of your opposition, and they've got to try and play catch up.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you, because I think one of the things that every team has discussed, and this is a very common topic, what do you do between 7 and 13? Because the big thing is that everyone knows what to do 1 to 6.
Yeah.
7 and 13 are where lots of coaches believe games are decided, because if that field goes out and you sort of step off and you go down too much into a trough, it's very difficult to get up again. So what he's saying is that probably Rituraj has that mandate that you still have to keep going. So what happens is when the field spreads and you keep going, you have to take more risks because there are more fielders outside. So therefore, he's not possibly getting that many runs because he's having to take more chances. And the team would be telling him, take more chances. Why? because there's all these batters waiting out there. There's Shivam Dubey waiting, there's Ravindra Jadeja waiting, there's Ambati Rayudu
Moeen
waiting,
Ali,
there's
Ambati
Moeen Ali
Rayudu,
waiting. All these guys are waiting. Do not eat up balls. Keep batting at the same pace. So that I'll be very interested to know how much 7 to 13 is dropping this year as compared to 7 to 13 every year or maybe 2 years back.
I mean, you're saying that everybody's waiting, but there's one guy for whom we are all waiting. He just keeps us waiting. He barely comes out to bat. I don't know why he's just doing those 2-3 balls. He says, I'll just show my face a little bit and leave people wanting more. I'll come. He's hit like 8 sixes in 6 games in the 6 innings that he's played. Yes, he just comes out, he whacks it. And in fact, the one guy who wants him to come out before him, perhaps, is Ravindra Jadeja. He says, I don't want people to cheer when I get out.
I completely
I
understand.
get out. They cheer because they want to see MS coming. Or they're probably booing everybody else before. Get out, get out. We've seen it happen enough in world cricket, haven't we?
Yeah, there were visitors, a guy and his wife, a businessman, Australian businessman. He said he'd worked in Sri Lanka, and he said, he sort of turned up after the game, and he and his wife were like, whoa, that was just incredible. It was the first game they'd ever been to.
Yeah.
So they were at Chepauk. And when he walked out for the toss, it went mad again, whistling and everything. Then when Jadeja got out and he was going to come out, like the roof nearly blew off. And then when he hit the 4, it was like, wow, I didn't realize he could get this loud. But hold on. He then hit a 6 to finish off the innings. And there was some absolutely bonkers. It was unbelievable. And so speaking to them, they were like, man. I said, do you know what? You've picked the right game.
Yeah.
And the guy had a shirt he bought outside the stadium with 7 Dhoni on it, right? And I said, and you wore the right colors as well.
Yeah, right color, right number.
And I said, it doesn't matter where you go now, just put that shirt on and you'll be fine.
That's right. I have to tell you, Virat Kohli once told me for the World Cup final, he walked in when Sachin got out. Sachin gets out at Wankhede and he says there's deathly silence. So I'm walking out and I'm thinking, this is India, right? Playing at home. Hello, somebody. Oh, one cheer, one clap. He says because everybody was so distraught. That's the kind of emotion people like Sachin, in the Wankhede, MS Dhoni in Chepauk. That's the kind you have to be there to kind of experience
But
the
MS Dhoni at Chepauk,
madness and the worship.
MS Dhoni in Kolkata.
Gee, that's
He was
true.
playing in Kolkata.
Yeah, I
Just see
remember
the
that.
reaction that you got in Kolkata. It's amazing. I think, look, that's one thing that BCCI now has to guarantee for all spectators because fans this year they're paying good money to come and pay tickets. Dhoni will play at least 6 balls. That has to be there. It's got to be there, man.
MG.
Yeah,
That's
there's
the
got to
MG,
be a
minimum guarantee.
Dhoni must play 6 balls. 6 balls of Dhoni is there. It has to be there. It's like, in old films, you have to say ki 2-minute guest appearance has to come from so-and-so.
Yeah. Or if he doesn't play 6 balls, then he will be docked 100% of his match fee and people will be paid back for their tickets. Money back guarantee. He will pay your admission fee back.
I can understand it, though. I mean, it's the game's about heroes. Sport is about heroes, and MS is undoubtedly one of those, right? And people, it doesn't matter which ground it is, they absolutely turn up, and yes, they'll want their team to win. But if he won it for CSK, they wouldn't mind. You know what I mean?
But the guys there, look, last year I wrote a book on MS Dhoni.
Yeah.
And I said, look, there are enough books. So what I decided was to get a lot of people who've, played with him, played against him, coaches, managers, juniors. So different opinions. So, Dhoni from different angles. And all of them, again, that even guys who are like 10 years senior to him, the respect they have for him is something that you think that, who's the elder one here? And there's this great story that Deep Dasgupta says. This is 2003-4. So Deep Dasgupta is an Indian player.
Yeah.
Dhoni has not yet played for India, okay? And this guy, Deep Dasgupta, tells his dad that he's come to pick him up in the airport and Dhoni's also there, some East Zone game. And Deep Dasgupta's father meets him and Deep tells his dad, he says, this is a guy who's going to play for India for a very long time. And his dad is surprised because he says, dude, you're also a keeper.
Yeah. This is the guy who's going to take my job. And everybody else is.
But everyone knew that he had that sense in him which was absolutely amazing. That sense of finishing.
Parthiv said it as well. He said that, I once asked him, I said, do you ever think that you just happen to be in an era of just such a special player where just nobody else got a chance, right? He's a wicketkeeper, he's a captain, he's a batter, he comes into the team and just doesn't leave, right? Doesn't get dropped, he's just there. And Parthiv had a very good point of view on it. He said, well, he only got in because we didn't cement our chance. Like, we didn't grab our chance when we got it. He says, Dinesh, Karthik, me, Deep, all the people who were around at that time, he says, we got our chances, we didn't grab it. It's because we didn't do it that he got a chance, and good on him. When he got his chance, he grabbed it and hasn't let it go.
There's another great story, which is Challenger Trophy matches. And Challenger Trophy matches were these like India A versus India B versus India C. So it's really like a selection match, okay? And Balaji is bowling and Karthik is batting, okay? The man who's keeping is MS Dhoni, okay? And the ball goes to, one ball goes to the first slip and the catch gets dropped. Karthik is batting. The second ball, and Balaji swears it would have gone to second slip. It was that, the edge was that much. And Dhoni goes straight across and takes the catch. And the whole concept is, my fate is in my hands.
Yeah, that's right. There's a keeper. I'm a keeper.
I'm not going to leave it to you. Yeah.
I'm not going to leave it to anyone else now.
Yeah.
My fate is in my hands. And that's a classic Dhoni story. That, okay, you tried once. Okay, now let me do this. This is in my hands. I'm not letting anyone do.
And you know what? Like, you only have to look at the numbers. I don't think we look at them or think about them enough. So the guy gets this status as this hero and how wonderful he was and how he is and all the rest. And nobody really kind of speaks about his cricket. It's almost in the background.
Yeah.
But if you do look at the numbers, right, and working as a commentator for many a year, you'd see those numbers. They're ridiculous.
Yeah, especially at the number that he bats at.
They are absolutely ridiculous. So if you're whoever was in the spot before, there's absolutely nothing wrong for this guy who is kind of like up there to be the guy who then takes the spot. I think they got it right.
I think they got it right. Safe to say that. All right, have Lucknow got it right with the surfaces that they've been making there? Well, their spinners certainly think so, even if their batters don't. And the spinners have been doing well. There's Bish and Mish, right? Bishnoi and Mishra. Mishra, of course, the senior statesman, right? What is he? I mean, he's been playing cricket since what, the 1960s, right? He's just been around.
He doesn't look like that.
He doesn't. He doesn't look like that. You're right. He's got a big beard now. But there you go.
That's not the only thing that's big.
172 wickets, right? Chahal, of course, one of the masters.
He's amazing. From year one.
Third highest.
Yeah. And from year one, he's one of the few players who was there in year one, bowling, really doing well. I think he got a hat-trick. I think his first hat-trick was, he got 3 hat-tricks in the IPL.
Yeah.
3 hat-tricks in the IPL. And the most amazing thing about him is that, you know what he's been doing all of last year?
What?
Petitioning people for the impact players role. Because it suits him just fine.
That's right.
Just come in, bowl your 4 overs, 12th over, if they bowl first, 12th over, 13th over, his analysis is over. He goes,
job is done. Get a taxi, back, ice bath, hotel, chill. All right? He's getting it done. He's getting it done. Krunal also. If you give, Krunal's the kind of clever cricketer that if you give him a surface that can help and that just sticks and stops a little bit, oh, geez, he can juice that lemon dry.
Yeah, he might be captain actually today, won't he? No, won't he captain that side?
We shall know in just a few moments. This one walks out.
Yeah, he might.
Yes, he is.
He might well be the captain.
Yeah, he is. He's walking out to toss right now.
Okay, so at home, I don't think it's a surprise that he does that well. I think it's particularly a case of, being comfortable in the conditions. And by that, so many teams want a scenario where the players try and ensure that the place is not easy to breach.
Yeah.
The place.
What is? Something with high walls and a moat and a drawbridge?
Yeah, and I mean, conditions allow, when I say that, you look at how things have gone over there, and generally they have allowed for the spinners to not so much dominate in terms of wicket taking, but stop guys from scoring and make it difficult from scoring just because of the nature of the surface. And he's not prolific in terms of taking wickets, what he does. And when you think of him over the years and all those years for Mumbai Indians, he's a guy who will break a partnership. He's a guy who will bowl an economical spell that will shift a game that kind of everyone was scoring a whole lot of runs and he comes in and you look at his 4 overs and they've gone for 30 in a game that's going at 9s, you know, that sort of thing. And he does it and it's all quiet and you're not sure, right? And you wonder, oh, hey, what about Pandya? Why? Maybe he dropped him. No, not dropping him because he can come in, he can whack some at the back end and he can bowl those spinners, bowling over here, bowling over there. Before you know it, the 4 overs together and the body of work with his batting and with his fielding is quite big and influential to the team, even though some might not notice it.
Yeah, also remember that they put him at 4 as a batsman.
Yeah.
Okay? Remember, Mumbai used to play him much later, sometimes 6, sometimes 7.
They were 5, 6, 7, the Pandya brothers and Pollard. Or the 3 brothers.
Three brothers. But, and here also, whatever it is, you know, and nobody's got too many runs out here. He's got 104 runs in his 5 knocks out here. Because this is not going to be, this is not an easy surface to bat on. But that's the thing, that they're saying he's a good player of spin, he's our number 4 batsman. And I think those decisions they made very early in the season, that this is Huda and Pandya are our players against spin. The rest of them are general attackers who will attack anyway. If there's a lot of turn going on, these are the guys they expect to do. Ayush Dhoni, they're the guys who expect to use it.
Of course, they don't have their captain KL Rahul, who got injured. So Krunal Pandya has come out. So we'll see in just a second how that impacts the team selection. Does Quinton de Kock finally get off the bench and, you know, stop ruining the fact that he was not there for the first couple of games and, oh, geez, somebody took my chair and this is not getting up. But Chennai has won the toss, and MS Dhoni is so polite. He's come to their home in Lucknow and said, "Pehle aap." Right? He's asked them to bat first. Lucknow, of course, is thinking, we don't have to chase. Thanks, MS. Thank you for this present. Right? Because Lucknow probably has some blunt force trauma from those previous 2 chases. And they're happy they don't have to do that anymore.
Blunt force.
It's a good term. I like it. I like it.
And sometimes, you know, teams get gun shy. They do, to use another term. When you're kind of thrust into the same sort of scenario and the chase doesn't necessarily have to be that difficult for them to mess it up, as they've shown, right? So if you're put in the situation again and the expectation is, oh, you've done well with the ball and you should get this chase, then, wicket here, wicket there, and then suddenly the doubts creep back in. And in fact, they don't creep, they flood back in. And sides then don't get over the line. Given the opportunity to put a score on the board, I said the last time I was here, I think we might be at a situation where teams would choose to bat first. And I say that because of this aggressive outlook that the teams have had. However, I think since I said that, the chasing sides have done quite decently. And it's a nice point in the tournament because at first, teams would be choosing to field. Teams might not necessarily have been going out hard enough despite the impact player. Then they worked out that, no, we can go a bit harder. We've got so much left in the bank after we've played, and they're getting chased down quite comfortably, so we obviously need to play that bit harder. Then they started to go, teams batting first, and teams choosing to bat second. And they bat first, they get too many, and you can't quite get it. And they think, oh, so how do we play this? Now we're at the stage where, hey, both sides are going, we can play that game. Let's see, if you want to bat us out the game, bat us out the game. But we'll be okay too because we'll start out and make sure we're up with the rating. So this is a nice point in the tournament. And essentially it comes all the way back to who has the better skills. Who has the better skills on the day.
It's interesting because Krunal at the toss said that I wanted to bat first anyway. See, trauma. He wanted to bat first. I don't know why we waited for the covers to come off to do this toss. They should have just had a chat in the dressing room. What do you want to do? You want to bat? I want to bowl. All right, it's done. Let's just start the game 5 minutes earlier.
Look, Kunal, it might be a bit of bravado because you don't want the other guys to know. But my other point is, I think another reason why it could have been impacted by Dhoni's decision is also 2 things. One is he's got Deepak Chahar back.
Yes, that's the big news for Chennai fans.
It's Deepak Chahar back.
Big money ticket, big dollar bill. He's back. Missed quite a few and he's back, and he would like, even though Dhoni's done very well with well, he does well with all younger bowlers anyway, so he's done well. Tushar Deshpande has
17 wickets.
17 wickets. He's giving runs, but as a captain, you take it, right? Because you're getting the wickets.
No, and the other reason why Dhoni might have done is, given rain around the corner,
Yeah,
it's always better
true.
to bowl first. Because, you don't know what targets you're going to chase if the
Yeah.
game is a curtailed game. So,
Yeah.
generally the team batting second in a rain encounter just has a better sense of target.
They're gonna choose that. Well, I got news for you. Quinton de Kock still doesn't get a game.
Ooh.
He's like, what more do
What
I have
more
to
does he
do?
need?
And we spoke about this yesterday.
Well, he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Truth be told.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
What more has to happen
Yeah, there you go.
for me to get a game? He's not getting one today. It's Manan Vora, as we spoke about this last night. didn't
Ooh,
we?
interesting.
He said Manan Vora, so an Indian player for an Indian player, I guess because they didn't want to change the balance down at the bottom. They wanted to keep the rest of the team, so it's like a, Indian opening batter comes in, Manan Vora gets a chance. And otherwise, what would have had to happen is if Quinton de Kock came in, then Naveen ul Haq would have had to sit out. Avesh Khan perhaps comes in. So it just changes the balance quite a bit, and they've chosen not to do that.
Yeah, and I suppose, so as you think about it, you've always got to say, what do you get the most out of? Who do you get the most out of as you make your changes? So if Manan Vora comes in, he kind of is given what is a script and a quite clear one.
Yeah.
And it's to ensure that up at the front he's explosive, along with Kyle Mayers, no issues, nothing changes there. What is it at the back end that Naveed ul Haq brings? And I think it's that action that is slightly different, and the fact that he can bowl at the back end, right at the death. Experienced bowler, calm under the pressure, and they're able to think clearly and execute.
Execute!
Oh, sorry. He's out of the show.
I shall be executing
Call
Pommie
the
now for
police,
using
call the
that
police.
word.
Jail.
Throw him to the lions!
But yeah, and I suppose what you've also then got to ask is, if he goes out, who comes in?
Yeah.
Right? Who comes in to bowl, and can they bowl at the death? Can they be as effective at the
No,
death?
Avesh
That's
Khan, look, they had him as that bowler, but he's obviously not given them the season that they think.
Yeah, not
is
quite
worth.
on it.
Yeah, not quite on it. Let's talk about the Chennai bowling, though, because they are going to be bowling first. They, of course, have reinforcements because they have Deepak Chahar, who's back in. But let's talk about Ravindra Jadeja in the middle overs, right? He is just, and he will love this pitch. Because the minute you give him
But
something,
does anyone know it's the black soil or the red soil?
it's sticky.
Sticky.
I'll tell you that much. It's Lucknow. It's going to be a sticky wicket. But any of those two surfaces, and even if it's a patchy grass surface, and we'll try and find out. We've got people on the ground. Have we got men on the ground? Well, let's talk about Ravindra Jadeja and just what he's been. And look at the wickets that he's been taken, right? That's a very impressive roster of batters that he's been dismissing.
Yeah, in fact, if you look at the last couple of matches, he hasn't gone for that. He hasn't gone that well in the last 3 matches. But before that, you see he's been absolutely spectacular. He's just not allowed anyone. And this pitch will be far more to his liking. I think Punjab took him on a bit because they had nothing else up front. Punjab took him on a bit and they got away with it. They, got their few strokes run. He still got wickets, but, they tried to attack him.
Yeah.
I think Lucknow will be far more tentative against him because he's just got that ability to squeeze the middle overs.
Yeah.
The big question is, big question, because this is something that's decided outside and perhaps by the opening batsman. What's a good total today?
Yeah, on this ground, empirical evidence suggests 130. Yeah, but you're above 130, you're good, right? But MS, you know that this track, this stadium, whichever pitch they're playing on, it'll take spin. And both of them have just a lot of spin in their arsenal, don't they?
Yeah, and the template for CSK, I say so because Deepak Chahar is back, right? So has normally been Chahar up at the front, and he'll bowl 3 more times than not.
Yeah,
right.
He's sometimes 4 also, but yeah, 3
depending on how
definitely.
well he's gone, he may bowl 4. Depending also on what Dhoni thinks he has in terms of resources for the end, then he might, go, okay, bowl 3. If he feels he's got enough at the back end, and I do think that currently he'll feel he has enough with Patirana at the back end, he'll feel, yeah, I can bowl 4 up here or 3, no problem. The issue, as far as I'm concerned, with regard to experience and the skill of Deepak Chahar, is if you're one of the younger bowlers, Deshpande probably less young, but Akash Singh, and you've been going quite well, and you've been given the confidence and all of this, there is the playing on adrenaline that can really drain you. And in a tournament like this, where fly, play, yes, they've got quite a lot of things right, but sometimes you're not quite on it because you've been kind of sapped mentally more than anything else. And it's not that you're not trying 100%, you are, but you're drained.
Yeah.
And so the experience comes back, I think, at just the right time. Not right at the end of the round robin, but so that Deepak Chahar can get into the tournament as well. And if he gets it swinging and if he gets the confidence in the body, by the time it's sort of play, and I'm not making any assumptions, by the time it's playoffs time, then they've got this template once again where spin in the middle, seam up front with the ball swinging, and at the back end, Patirana and probably Deshpande who can bowl pretty decently at the back end. So, yeah. Yeah,
it could be. It could be working out for them, but it just kind of always does, doesn't it? Let's have a look at the Lucknow team because there's a few changes, I'm being told. How many? Let's have a look. Oh, quite a few. This, of course, is their batting team. So, Manan Vora, because no KL Rahul injured, he's out with Kyle Mayers. No Quinton de Kock still. Marcus Stoinis, Ayush Badoni, Nicholas Puran, Krunal Pandya.
Mohsin Khan.
Krishnappa Gautam. That's right. He's back.
Oh, Mohsin Khan's back.
We thought that he would not play this season, is what I thought.
Oh, that's fantastic
but
news.
But he's there. Karan Sharma, Mohsin Khan, Naveen ul Haq, Ravi Bishnoi. So good news for them. They'll get another bowler in on their impact. So who would that be? Anyway, let's have a look at the Chennai team and then we'll have a look at the impact players. Chennai, of course, is going to be bowling first. And they have the one change. That's Deepak Chahar, who comes in place of Akash, I think, right?
Yep.
That's it. Comes in place of Akash. They're bowling Tushar Deshpande, Mahesh Patirana, Madhisha Patirana, Mahesh Tikshana, Ravindra Jadeja, Moin Ali. I guess they'll do that. Haven't really seen Shivam Dube bowl this tournament, but he's got...
but on this kind of pitch, if it's sticky and all, just hit the deck kind of cutters, Shivam Dube is that kind of bowler.
Yeah,
I mean, the kind of bowler that they wanted Jaydev Unadkat to be before he got injured.
Yeah, and they'll get another batter in, so I'm guessing that will be Ambati Raidu, right? 100%. So that's going to be there.
100%, that's
going to be there. They don't change it much. They don't change it around. They're going to keep it.
Yeah, but that's my interesting thing that, I've been just looking at this tournament and I'm just going through the numbers yesterday. I said, everyone, you look at Chennai, this is a really successful team doing really well. Their batting's going great. The spinners are growing well. Okay, one weakness, okay, they're fast bowlers, but that's about it. They've got most things covered. You go and look at Punjab Kings, nothing going right, batting, somebody hits some, gets out the next match, nothing, Rabada not firing. They're both 5 and 4.
Yeah.
They're both 5 and 4.
They're finding a way. Yeah. They're finding a way. Well, they're finding a way to win. Will Chennai find a way to win today? They are chasing in Lucknow. Hasn't gone well in a few games there. But impact players, let's have a quick look at that as well before we get our joy factor question in. For Lucknow, they'll be getting a bowler in. So probably Yash Thakur. That's the one. Oh, no, Deepak Hooda in the 11. So he's the impact player today. So that means he's not playing because they're batting first.
Yash Thakur.
Can we see their 11 again?
Yeah.
Because
Yash Thakur, Mohsin Khan came in for Yash Thakur.
Yeah, so Mohsin Khan is in for Yash Thakur. It probably comes in as an impact sub later when they bowl. But interestingly, there's no Deepak Hooda. And this is their batting team. So Deepak Hooda, so that's one change. Right?
Okay.
So they've got Karan Sharma in there. They've got spin with him, Bishnoi, Krishnappa Gautam. There's no Amit Mishra as well here. Right? Yeah, and he's not even in the... Did you see him in the impact sub? Come back again to that. There's no... He's not there in the impact subs as well. He had too much excitement with that fight last game. Just sitting this one out. It's like, it's too much for me.
When I suppose you have to kind of name them, the impact subs before, but if you name 4 internationals...
you have it... No, that's because they're fielding a substitute. It's only for a fielding because you're not allowed to take a fielding substitute other than the list of impact.
Okay,
That's the
fair.
only reason.
Stop.
That's the only reason they
Yeah,
have
because
that.
otherwise it's a waste of time, right?
That's the only reason it's there.
rules.
That's the only
very
reason.
confusing. I haven't understood them completely, but I barely understand anything. Especially the joy factor question. Never understood it.
No, I've been so
Never.
nice today.
Hey,
I've been
hey,
so nice
hey.
today.
Are you kidding? What is this? A full
No.
toss?
Joy.
A juicy full toss?
I don't know if you've seen it before. Like we've kind of wondered at some of your questions. What's
Oh, there you go. Fill
What's
in the
going
blank with the
on?
name of a player. KL Rahul, Quentin de Kock, Joss Butler, Harry Brook, Venkatesh Iyer, Yashasvi Jaiswal. Pommie Mbangwa.
Yeah, absolutely. He fits in right.
Pommie, it's batters, right? And what do you say? Mbangwa can't bat.
You can't. I'm seeing hundreds. Anyway, never mind.
Oh, stop it.
Move along.
Don't give clues away.
Move along.
What is it? I'll tell you.
I'm bothered.
They're all Sagittarius.
You're absolutely right.
Hey,
bothered.
what up? What up?
Joy.
This is a juicy full toss, outside off stop.
You,
The Lucknow pitches are so bad, I had to give something to us.
That's true. By the way,
and the last time, and the time before that.
They were all easy.
We were
And
sitting here. You asked about Braley last time. You asked
yeah, Mike Braley. He's
something
keeping
else.
it contemporary.
Hey, what's going on?
So I'll tell you what happens. Joy gets the days he's with Harsha, because Harsha only sings songs from the 1950s, chartbusters. Joy gets tempted, this false sense of security that people who are watching are 180 years old. He goes to questions from W.G. Grace and that club of players. Isn't it true? It is.
I'm going to go.
Have I
further back.
psychologically
I'm
decoded
going to take
something
you
here,
to the
Joy?
19th century now, next time.
19.
What I remember is that you say they're not Googleable,
They're not Googleable.
right? That's what you said, right?
I have the expression for Googleable as well.
Yeah.
That's the expression. It ain't Googleable. All right, it's not Googleable is what the score would be, but we're going to guess that anyway before we scoot out of here. What's it going to be?
Lucknow scores 155.
155. Jeez, look
Neither
at you
here
with
nor
the
there.
inflation. All right. What's it going to be?
I'm going 174.
174. What has he seen that we haven't yet? But I'm also being lulled into this false sense of optimism about this surface. But I think they're going to do it today. So I'm going to go 164. That's our score. 164.
55, 64, 71. We covered quite a bit.
We've covered quite a bit of ground. I just hope it's not the old ground that gave us those 130 matches. All right, we're going to get out of here because it's lunchtime. It's very late, but this rain has just rained on everything now. So we're going to go eat, hopefully not soggy food. And we're going to see you at the end of the 10th over with Cricbuzz Combox with a little update to see how things are going. We're here with you all day today because we've got 2 games. It's not supposed to be 2 games, but it is 2 games. But hey, here I am, right? Doing my bit to entertain you with me brothers. Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Pom. Thank you so much. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Cricbuzz Live. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. We'll see you soon.
Jaipur via Kota,
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲು
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दें